Hi, and thank you for visiting my channel. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow. Now let's get started.
WWE Raw General Manager Adam Pearce has lately been very busy dealing with budding rivalries going out of hand, top stars sustaining injuries, and much more on the Red brand. He recently shared a social media update claiming he got his revenge on a popular star. The 47-year-old kicked off the October 20th edition of Monday Night Raw by stripping Seth Rollins of the World Heavyweight Championship due to the latter's injury. He then asked Braun Breaker, who had left the arena with the title the previous week, to hand him the strap. Despite making the GM say please, the second-generation wrestler gave the title to Paul Heyman instead, who handed it over to Pearce. Adam Pearce punished Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed by excluding them from the Battle Royal scheduled to determine CM Punk's opponent for the vacant World Heavyweight Championship. Paul Heyman tried to get the duo in the match. However, the Scrap Iron did not entertain the Oracle's demand, despite making him say please. The Raw general manager took to Instagram to share a clip from his backstage conversation with Paul Heyman. In the caption, Adam Pearce insinuated that he got his revenge on the members of the Vision. Former WWE champion recently called out Adam Pearce for favoritism. The New Day and Grayson Waller have been calling out for a ban on Penta's Mexican Destroyer. However, Adam Pearce has been ignoring the plea. After getting hit by the move, the Aussie icon posted a social media update stating that he was moving around on a motorized scooter because of it. Responding to Waller's tweet, Xavier Woods noted that the former WWE Tag Team Champion must be going through a lot of pain. He blamed Adam Pearce for it, claiming it wouldn't have happened had the Raw GM not played favorites. At Grayson WWE, the pain you're going through must be unbearable. All because at Scrap Daddy AP plays favorites. This should have never happened to you, he wrote. Penta has now moved back to the WWE Intercontinental Championship picture. It remains to be seen what's next for the New Day and Grayson Waller, as the Masked Man has shifted his focus towards Rusev and Dominic Mysterio. The latest episode of WWE Monday Night Raw left fans buzzing after General Manager Adam Pearce made a bold statement that he finally got revenge on a major WWE superstar who had disrespected him for months. In a shocking turn of events, Pearce, known for his calm professionalism, unleashed a more ruthless side that fans haven't seen before, and it all played out in dramatic fashion live on Raw. A simmering feud reaches its boiling point. For months, tensions have been building between Adam Pearce and several top WWE names, but none more intense than his issues with Drew McIntyre. The Scottish Warrior has been on a warpath ever since his loss at Clash at the Castle and has taken every opportunity to vent his frustrations, often at Pearce's expense. On previous episodes of Raw, McIntyre repeatedly confronted Pearce in backstage segments, demanding opportunities, berating his authority, and even questioning his integrity. One memorable moment saw McIntyre shove Pearce against a locker room wall after Pearce refused to overturn a match result. The WWE Universe speculated that things were getting personal, and on this week's Raw, they found out just how personal it had become. Pearce finally snaps. Raw opened with McIntyre entering the ring, venting yet again about the bias against him. He accused Pearce of playing favorites and claimed that the general manager was protecting other stars, particularly Cody Rhodes and Sami Zayn, from facing him. McIntyre demanded to be added to the upcoming World Heavyweight Championship #1 contenders match. Adam Pearce interrupted McIntyre's tirade, walking down the ramp with his usual clipboard and earpiece, but this time, his demeanor was different. Gone was the calm and collected executive. Pearce stood on the apron, microphone in hand, and glared at McIntyre before saying, "You think you can push me around? You think I don't see what you've been trying to do for months? Well, Drew, tonight, I get my revenge." The crowd erupted, unsure what he meant, but the answer came swiftly. Pearce announced that McIntyre would indeed compete that night, but his opponent would be none other than Braun Strowman, making his first in-ring appearance since returning from injury. The fans went wild. McIntyre's face told the story, disbelief, then rage. Pearce had just set up the one match McIntyre didn't want. The match that shocked Raw. Later in the night, McIntyre vs. Strowman headlined the show. From the moment the bell rang, it was clear McIntyre wasn't prepared for the monster among men's power. Strowman dominated early, tossing Drew across the ring and flattening him with a running power slam. McIntyre tried to fight back, landing a Glasgow kiss and a future shock DDT, but it wasn't enough. As McIntyre looked to hit the Claymore, Pearce appeared on the ramp once again, smirking. The brief distraction allowed Strowman to recover, catch McIntyre mid-air, and deliver another power slam for the 3 count. The crowd exploded. McIntyre was furious, pointing at Pearce and shouting, "You cost me this." Pearce didn't deny it. Instead, he mouthed the words, "That's payback." Backstage fallout, Pearce's bold declaration. Following the match, WWE cameras caught up with Adam Pearce backstage, and the normally composed executive had a rare moment of satisfaction. "You know," Pearce said, "Drew McIntyre thought he could bully his way into getting what he wanted. He disrespected this office, this roster, and this show. Tonight, he learned a lesson, that I'm not just some suit who makes matches. I got my revenge, and it felt good." Pearce's statement immediately went viral online, with fans debating whether his actions were justified or if he crossed the line by intentionally interfering with a superstar's match. WWE Universe divided. Social media exploded with reactions to the segment, with hashtag Adam Pearce trending throughout the night. Many fans praised Pearce for standing up to McIntyre, calling it a long overdue response to weeks of verbal and physical intimidation. One fan wrote on X, formerly Twitter, "Adam Pearce finally snapped, and I loved every second of it. McIntyre needed that dose of humility." Others criticized the move, arguing that Pearce abused his authority as Raw's general manager. So Adam Pearce can now decide matches just for revenge? That's not professional. Drew deserved better, another user posted. Even WWE legends chimed in. Booker T, speaking on the Raw Talk post-show, said, "Adam Pearce has always played it cool, but tonight, he showed he's human. Sometimes the guys in suits need to remind the locker room who runs the show." The power shift on Raw. What makes this storyline so intriguing is that it blurs the line between authority and personal emotion. Adam Pearce has long been portrayed as a fair and level-headed official, but this incident might signal a major change in his character. If Pearce continues down this path, Raw could be headed for a power struggle, especially if McIntyre retaliates. And retaliation seems inevitable. After the match, McIntyre reportedly stormed through the backstage area, throwing chairs and yelling that Pearce just made the biggest mistake of his career. According to insider reports, WWE officials had to calm him down before he left the arena. With Crown Jewel approaching, fans are already speculating whether this tension will lead to an official match between McIntyre and Strowman, or even something more shocking, like McIntyre challenging Pearce's authority altogether. Could Pearce face consequences? WWE's upper management storyline-wise could get involved. Triple H, who oversees both Raw and SmackDown, might not appreciate Pearce blurring the line between personal vendetta and professional responsibility. If Pearce's actions continue, it could even lead to disciplinary action, or a potential power struggle similar to what we've seen in the past with authority figures like Shane McMahon and Eric Bischoff. But in interviews after Raw, Pearce seemed unfazed. When asked if he feared backlash from higher-ups, he replied, "I did what needed to be done. I'm not going to apologize for holding someone accountable. I call that justice." A new side of Adam Pearce emerges. Whether you agree with his tactics or not, one thing is clear: this isn't the same Adam Pearce we've known for years. This version is tired of being walked over by superstars with egos bigger than the arena. This version fights back. Fans are intrigued by the shift, comparing Pearce's newfound fire to classic WWE authority figures who weren't afraid to get their hands dirty. If WWE continues to develop this storyline, it could lead to some of the most compelling TV in months. Looking ahead, what's next for Pearce and McIntyre? As of now, WWE has yet to announce any formal repercussions or follow-up matches. However, sources suggest that next week's Raw could open with McIntyre demanding an apology, or revenge of his own. If that happens, it could set up a massive pay-per-view feud where Pearce's authority, and perhaps his job, hangs in the balance. Some fans even speculate that Pearce could align himself with other superstars, like Strowman or even Sami Zayn, to protect his position against McIntyre's wrath. Regardless of what happens next, one thing is certain: Adam Pearce made a bold statement on Raw, one that will echo through the WWE locker room for weeks to come. After years of being the calm, rule-abiding official, Pearce proved he can also be ruthless when pushed too far. Whether that makes him a hero or a villain depends entirely on who you ask, but either way, Adam Pearce got his revenge.